Hey guys, what's cracking? Godsman here, and welcome to Custom Card Review 2025 edition. It's here. After being out of action for many months, probably going on a year if I recall correctly, Custom Card Review is back and better than ever. People have been asking for this one for a good while ever since the end of the previous review. It is a fan favorite on this channel. People get to come in, make their custom cards, be it in text and or in card form, maybe even in Google Drive. They share on the post and someone gets to review them and give the spotlight to them. What's there not to love? So we're back at it again with Custom Card Review, and it's better than ever. And with me today, I've actually got a co-host here in Noir. How are we doing, my friend?
Hey, what's up? I am doing pretty good today, for once in my life.
I'm
looking forward to this. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this because I've been making quite a few customs. Actually, I think that's actually how I first met you. We're funny enough. So, and here we are. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone else comes up with.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting to think about this, right? Like, why are you not a reviewer for this, like every day? Just because, for those of you who are actually like avid, viewers of this particular content, right? You remember the Phantom Jokers from like way back in the day, right? Yeah, that's Noir. That is the same guy, and here he is now, right? Now, I'm not gonna have a co-host for every episode, or at least I'm not expecting to have it for every episode. But you know, the homie here was free, so we decided, hey, you know, while we're free, we might as well try to like get some card reviews in. So let me go ahead and break down this series a little bit, just as sort of a refresher for folks who have been watching it or new folks on the channel, because we are growing who haven't seen this kind of content before. So the Custom Card Review is a series in which I make a post on Reddit, which serves as a forum for people to share their custom cards, you know, as the name implies. Whether it's in card form, text form, I take it in any way, right? And I review it, giving my thoughts on the custom cards here, the critiques, the thoughts on the overall archetype, and maybe some suggestions on how to improve, and I think there is room for improvement there. A couple of the ground rules for this series, given through experience, because, you know, in the beginning, I did make a little bit of hiccups here. There's only going to be a limit about 10 to 12 cards per person, as we're outlining here in the post itself. This is so that we can make time for everyone, because it takes a while to review customs, right? And really get down into the details, while also being efficient at the same time. So I'm not going to be revealing like 30 cards per poster, right? That's just ridiculous. Another thing to note, what's up?
Please God, no. We have lives.
Yeah, we have things to do. Imagine it's like a 1 hour video. It's just for two like posters, or not even two posters, just one poster. That's what like 30 cards would be, right? So it would be absolutely insane, right? So, you know, that's the rules there. So sorry about that. If you have like a compendium of 100 cards, we're only going to review about 12. Having said that, though. Yep, save it for next season, right? Having said that, though, there are more seasons of this, so there'll be more opportunity to do it. And if you do want to share more custom cards, that actually leads me into my next segue here, which is that I do have a Discord down the link in the description of this video here. So with that comes a channel for custom cards where people actually get to like look at your custom cards and give their critiques and whatnot. We have a somewhat avid community for it, as that community was somewhat kind of birthed by this custom card review series in the first place, from what I understand. So yeah, if you want to go and spread your creativity there, then be my guest, right? Don't let this series limit you, as weird as it is to say it that way. Finally, one of the ways people do share is via Google Drive. So I just want to give a heads up to all of you now, right? For those of you who are sharing here, if you're sharing via Google Drive, definitely make sure that it's public access in the share settings, because otherwise it's going to send you an email to ask for permission to access it, and obviously I can't access it in the video, right? So just wanted to get that heads up. Finally, this post here, just a day old, so I did just yesterday. It's going to be lasting until the end of the week. So you've got until the end of the week to get your posts in there before the post like is taken offline, and then we just finish up the review from there. But even though there's still many days to go, we've already got a lot of posts, as you see here, right? It's 68 replies as it stands, 29 unique powers among those replies, right? So we're gonna get a head start on this, because we are surely not gonna be able to keep pace with the absolute flood of customs that are coming in, and I could not be happier for that. Anyway, that's enough of the introduction and the same basic ground rules. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the custom card review, shall we? I hope you enjoy.
Let's do it.
So first off, we've got Sky Striker Ray here, nice little Gear Chronicle flare, and he's got one single card, so we're starting off very light here, which is appreciated in a way. So this is Lone Destruction Shadow Chaser Lantern. Ooh, okay. So and like some anime girl. I'm not sure if this is. Do you recognize this? You play more of the gachas, Noir. Is this actually like a gacha character or something?
Does look like a Honkai character, but I can't say definitively. I'm not a huge Hoyo player, but I am I'm assuming given the like the terms, I'm gonna assume this is a Honkai character. I don't know if it's Star
like
Rail
it's sort of
or
Lankyu or something like that. They do a lot of the Chinese inspired stuff, right? They've got nipple eyes, so you know, that's great. Cool card already. So this is a grade 3 Dark States, Twin Drive for Sunrise, so it's going to be a D series card to start off with. Very fitting here. Now, it's got 4 skills. First off, continuous to the Vanguard circle. During your turn, this unit gets 5,000 power for each face down card in your damage zone. Ooh, little minor grammatical there saying face down cards. Act on the Vanguard circle once per turn. You choose up to 6 cards from your hand or rear guards and bind them face up. And this unit gets Yeah, you have to choose 6. You're right, and this unit gets critical +1, drive +2 until end of turn. This unit attacks Vanguard, costs Soul Blast 2. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you countercharge 1. Okay, and then auto in the Vanguard circle. It's still going. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked if you have no rear guards. Okay, and I understand how you're supposed to do that because of the axe. And you bind 6 or more, in this case, bound 6 or more cards this turn. Counterblast 2. Stand this unit and gets drive -1. Holy crap, that was a lot. Sweet mother of 1 unit on the field, nothing else. Okay, Noir, so as co-host, go ahead and take a crack at it first. What do you think about this standalone card? They didn't give us any support cards. This is basically as read. Like, you're basically playing it generically in Dark States.
I mean, all things considered, I feel like the card's actually decently fair, because you basically get, while you get the effect for the Impalio Divine skill, for the Act skill, you are still minusing yourself by 6, so, and you're not getting an extra drop. Oh wait, no, you do get a drive +2. What am I talking about? But still,
yeah, so you're going to go for
6
quad drive, then triple drive, so that's 7 drives over the normal 2, so you're only negging 1 in that.
Yeah, but the difference here would be that because you're presumably swinging with just herself, because as far as I can tell, Dark States doesn't have a lot of like self-retiring units, or at the very least, they don't have column retires. Like they have stuff that can disappear, like what was her name, Selfish Engraver, I think, where it's like when she's on hit, you can put her into soul at the end of battle. But like you need a hefty soul count for that, and she's soul blasting. You probably don't want to run that. So you know, weird, compared to some of the stuff we've been seeing lately.
Yeah, like it's oddly fair, but I think like it's not even like intentionally fair. It feels like because it's an axe skill that's binding them, right? So you have to. So for instance, if you're getting rushed down really hard and you just don't have 6 other cards, you don't get this effect. So realistically, what you're doing here is doing the first auto skill and also the continuous skill, right? Those are really the ones that you're benefiting from just at Natty, right? Because none of this really has like archetype locked conditions behind it. It's just doing, it's so weird. It's like why is it even a Dark States? You know, it doesn't even really interact with its own nation very much, right?
Really?
So I think in terms of like, if you're talking about the play balance of it, it's like it's almost like unintentionally balanced, if not overbalanced. But in terms of theme, what does this do, right? Like, I just don't understand the card very much. Like, is the concept just have this one lone Vanguard do literally everything and hope for the best?
Yeah, Varga, eat your heart out.
Yeah, like this almost feels like what Impaldio might have done it at like some point in the draft there before they made the final version.
I will say, one, I don't know if I want to call it a sin just because I don't think it's supposed to be that harsh, but like one thing I think you should always try to avoid is try not to have an effect feed directly into itself. Completely. Yeah. Because while I can see what you're doing with the axe skill, more often than not, when the unofficial card is made, when you have a requirement set, like in this case, for example, bind 6 or more cards, usually they have dedicated support that helps you meet that like ramp effect, as opposed to just the Vanguard doing it all by himself. It can get you started. Like for example, Dragil. He soul blasts 4 different grades. You get the power reduction and you get the crit. He only soul charges 2 cards, so that's only 2 cards that get you covered, and you get the ride lines. But you still need support like Falcate, Nocturzio, Geodraw now. You need multiple cards to get the full effect off constantly. This card just does it all by itself, so it's like, what's even the point of playing a deck?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's so self-sufficient and just is esoteric. Like it ignores any support that would go for it, because how are you supposed to support this? It's meant to support itself. Which goes hard is a line, but still.
Not only that, it's generally a rule of thumb that I like to follow. Ignoring Gandiva masks, I would generally try to avoid having more than 3 skills on a unit, especially because some of these skills don't really work together with each other. Because you have a bind ramp of setup for the cost, and then also a bind ramp to get the restand off. So why does the continuous skill only look for face down cards? It's like have you had a mechanic or a deck built around having everything face down your damage like Alt Mile and V? I could see that, but why doesn't she why doesn't she ramp with bind, or hell, if for the act skill to compress it a little bit, you can have once you meet a certain threshold for cards in your bind zone, then she gets the natural crit +1 drive +2 just naturally.
Yeah, you know what? If you had taken out the first act skill, the act skill and the first auto skill, like you take them both out, this actually reads like a fully functional Vanguard that just expects an archetype to get you those binds, right?
Yeah.
And then everything else, then like it is up to your support cards to give you like those crit drives and to maybe do retires and of course counter charges. I mean, just look at another Dark States card that like CB2s, right? Favernil also has good counter charges like Eligors and whatnot. So that's probably how I would suggest, because you're right, you know, it does too much on its own. But like at the same time, it just decaps itself because it's like contradicting. It's weird. So yeah, it's a cool card, but I think like in concept and execution, it leaves a fair bit to be desired, right? And it's oddly just in the thematics, right? Like the card balance of it is not that bad.
Yeah, from a card balance standpoint, the card's it's very fine. If anything, dare I say, it's a lot more respectable and more and better functioning than anything Buji's put out in the past year. Well, that's just me.
Dude, let's not get into that. I know some people are mauling on Bob Socket to this very day. All right, let's go on to the next one here.
That would be me. I'm one of them.
Yes, you are, bro. I understand it. All right, so next up on the list, we've got Fatebringer of Miracles, Rezial Nox. Actually encountered this on a stream recently when I was looking through like Rezial customs, just out of curiosity. Right, and so guy says, I mean, if you insist. So he's got 2 support cards to go with it too. All right, so let's go ahead and read these one at a time. We've got 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so let's start out with Rezial Nox. You see, you've got a really interesting drawing right here of wow. I mean, this is just Death Murder Cell, like, or something like that.
The silhouette was definitely traced, but I get it. The Vanguard artists are insane, so I don't expect you to be able to just draw custom art. Just
like who's got time for that, right? Fatebringer, so Fatebringer is just like one word. I'm going to assume that was a mistake. But anyway, so he's Fatebringer, which is weird because like it still sounds like a positive name. Anyway, that's his thematic stuff. So he's a grade 3 Counter Sanctuary unit with twin drive from Sona Ride with 13k base. His race though is interesting. His race is Fallen Angels, so I think they've made a race there.
Yeah, I think so, because I think even all the quote-unquote fallen angels are still just angel in the base game. So.
Exactly, yeah, they're just angels. So he made an entirely new race for this, which, I mean, I think it'd be cool if one of the support cards could exploit that fact. Anyway, let's read it. So, auto on the Vanguard circle, when this unit attacks the Vanguard, you counterblast 1, choose up to 2 units from your drop of different grades from each other, and add a grades equal to less than cards in your damage zone column rear circle. Okay, Rezial skill. Auto on the Vanguard circle. At the battle, this unit attacked if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater. Soul Blast 1, choose up to 2 of your rear guards and get them each 5,000 power until the end of the turn. Ooh, that's an interesting tack on. This definitely like combats one of Rezial's issues. Well, I say issues, but I feel like it's more the intentional weakness that it doesn't automatically power up the cards it calls, which is a good downside because it means that you have to choose beaters like back in the day, like Gigantic Masher or Noberis or stuff like that to resolve that issue. That Soul Blast basically takes off the need to Soul Blast for Nobia if you're looking at it from like set 1 standards. Divine skill. Thankfully, I know we're gonna run it. I just know for a fact we're gonna run in at least like a couple customs that'll have divine skill randomly for no reason, just because they can.
Oh yeah,
those customs were all over the place. I don't get it. I guess like technically it's like, yes, no, it's such a cool mechanic. I want a divine skill unit, but like they don't even say they're a fated one or a destined one. They just have divine skill.
Yep.
Like I saw someone just have like the Skyfall Arms rebuild. It just had a DS. it just had a DS for some random effing reason, dude. I'm like, come
I feel like
on.
thematically, that doesn't make sense. I feel like Youthbreak is the last kind of unit in lore who would ever want something like a divine skill.
Because he's a badass, dude. He doesn't need these kind of upgrades, dude.
His whole thing is destroy the heavens. Why would he ever want something having to do with heavenly?
Yeah, he would need undivine skill. Anyway, Axe Vanguard Circle Soul Blast. Want to discard a card from your hand. Ooh, okay, so we're adding a discard to this one. So you return all critical triggers from your drop zone to the deck and shuffle it. This gets a drive, and until end of fight, you cannot write Rezion card names, and you get, when your damage check reveals a trigger unit other than heal or a fallen angel unit, okay. If your damage has 5 cards, choose a card from your damage zone, heal, you lose a... I'm not gonna lie, this is actually a pretty cool upgrade. I like this card. It looks janky. It's missing a space on its name, but crap, I actually like this. It because although there's one thing about it that is a little unfortunate, I'll explain it, right? So essentially the same basic call skill, and then you add a discard from your divine skill in exchange for having a more likely ability to proc miracle, because now anime finish is actually a good thing for you. I was about to
say, this guy said anime finish. I didn't hear no bell.
That isn't anime finish, that's anime twist. Like that's that's the moment, dude. That's peak cinema moment. So that's a really cool idea. But having said that, though, the one thing that's a little sad to me is that it put in the whole Soul Blast, choose 2 units, get 5,000 power. Like, I get why it's doing this, but here's the thing. We already have cards that solve this problem. Not only do you have, like, really good beaters, like, Savidus is a Soul Blast to give 5k to your front row. Savidus already does this, but better. Nobia already has this just as a dedicated card, and on top of that, you also just get a ton of power from things like Gabwillius and Rifistor. So you don't really need this skill. It feels like it's tacked on. And here's my big point. It feels like it follows Bushiroad's basic trend of the same card, but more. Chris Rain is a really recent example, and it's a really good example of this. Chris Rain was like, all right, 3 effects, 4 effects. And you and I are actually doing that review that episode, right? And we're like, oh, I wonder how they cooked these effects. And it's like the first skill, energy charge stage shot. Okay, so it's the same. And it's like second skill, give you to 50k power. It's also the same. And then the third skill, this unit gets a critical. It's the same. And the fourth, at least the 4, I hope is interesting. Bounce unit back. Like, okay.
Why?
It's the same thing here. This is Reziel, but a little bit more power and a little bit reliable miracle. So balance-wise, it makes sense. Balance-wise, I actually could see Bushiroad releasing this right now, Jank not included, right? But it feels like a little sad that that's all that we did with this Reziel, you know? Maybe I'm like putting too much of my own personal expectations on it, but as I've like grown as a reviewer, I've come to realize that, you know, anyone can rip on card balance, right? Even when they're wrong about that. But I think the more important thing is to really talk about like the real themes, the whys on these custom cards. You know, why are we making what we're making? Because we're also artists at the end of the day in a way, when you think about it that way. So that's my percent. Do you got anything to add to it, Norm?
I will agree that, like, from a card balance standpoint, this is generally fine. My only issue is admittedly more of a personal reason, and it's that... What about this effect says anything about Reziel being fallen? Like, he doesn't do anything necessarily more aggressively besides give, like, extra 5k power, but, like, he does that already. And he does that 3 times, technically, because he can call 3 units with his effect. So it's like... Nothing about this says anything about, like, a fallen Reziel, per se. Everything is just, okay, just Reziel got an upgrade. He could keep his full, like, regular angelic form. I could read this effect, and I'll be like, I believe it. Nothing about it says, like, a fallen version. Like, if he had a retire effect or something, or maybe if he had, like a Sibyl type style, where it's, like, when he calls something, it's a mind pollution effect, they get 5k, and then they get retired at the end of the battle. Then it's like, that could feel more appropriate to, like, a fallen angel, but as it stands right now... Again, it's like I'm mostly going off the art. Like I said, the name itself also still seems like a positive. So like, but like the art, like the colors and like the way it's designed, clearly, and I mean it's a freaking fallen angel.
It's an angel, right? It's a fallen angel. That's not usually a positive thing.
Not usually, no. Not typically, unless this person's a Satanist. But you know, I'm not going to assume.
God, let's not. Less spoken about that, the better.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like. unless yeah, honestly, that's kind of what it comes down to. Like, again, card balance wise, it's fine, but I think you could capitalize more off of the fact that he's supposed to be a fallen Reziel, because like I said, as it stands right now, he just reads like a better Reziel, and that's it. Like, he doesn't have anything that speaks out to me that says, "Oh, I'm fallen."
He's his fated one of Miracles Plus.
Yeah, basically.
But still, kind of cool. So I'll give credit for this. Like we both agree on it. It's got good card balance. It actually seems like a pretty sensible upgrade there. It's kind of weird, as opposed to a lot of custom card like reviews in the past. Instead of like it being really cool concept, but like really whack balancing, we're actually starting off with like some fairly balanced cards, but the concept is just like not quite it. But let's see if the support cards can help out at all. So first off, we've got Aristel. Ooh, nice art. During the battle, this unit boosted. If you got a Vanguard with Reziel Nox, it gets 5k power. Ooh, okay. I wonder, is this gonna be aerial stage replacement? After the battle, this unit boosted. That's not how you word that, but fair enough. If you have a Vanguard with Reziel Nox on its card name, prepare yourself for some jank here, Noir, when we're reading these, because not
everyone's English first language, I get it.
But this unit is soul. Draw a card. Like the top card of your deck, we put a plate on top or the bottom of the deck. That's actually kind of useful. Like, it's not the greatest, but it's... Wait, hold up a second. Oh, hey, Noir. This divine skill is more powerful than they gave it credit for. That's a fallen angel.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I noticed it. I figured, and I guessed as much when he said it when it checks a fallen angel and not a Reziel. I'm just like,
it's gonna do that, yeah. Because I was like, oh, if it's the only fallen angel type, then it makes sense, because Reziel would be too large of a category. No, now you're basically inclined to, in order to make the miracle work, you like the best, you're gonna have to run these support units. Which, I mean, on one end, I get it, because it's like it's a good way to like kind of sneakily like. It's a way to sneakily not want them to use too many custom crap, but I mean not custom crap, generic crap. But at the same time, isn't that kind of what Reziel was best at? Like, I thought Reziel was supposed to be like this archangel that sort of like he unified and saved the fallen regardless of like what allegiance they were.
Yeah. Maybe that's what the point of him being a dark Reziel was. He became a lot more xenophobic.
It's like, no, dark angels are nothing, maybe. Nerf or nothing. Give it to me. Like, that is really,
That's the reason he became a fallen angel. He's a racist now.
God, Reziel Nox is an asshole. At this point, it's like, it'd be kind of funny. It's like, you must be able to damage check a unit. It's like, this get some ableist stuff going in there too, or whatever. But anyway, yeah. So this is a pretty this is admittedly kind of a bog standard unit, but it's a fallen angel, so you probably have to play it at least in a couple copies if you're trying to get it going. So yeah. Whoa, so this guy's a little bit more intense looking. Wait, was it?
I was about to say, so basically it's Aerial Sage's boost effect mixed with Nilbiris's actual effect. So it's you run it, I guess.
Yeah, you run it. Although CV's gonna be a little tight, so maybe be careful with the abilities. Don't want too many trips to the cookie jar there. Guardian of Shadowwing Airgon is a grade 3. Okay, it must be a grade 3 rear guard. Continuous on the Guardian Circle. Ooh, if you have a Vanguard with Reziel Nox, it gets 10k shield. Eat your heart out, Sawjust. Auto, when this unit is placed on rear circle by the skill of your Vanguard with Reziel Nox in its card, then it gets 5k until end of your turn. Energy Blast 3, draw a card.
I mean, it's a fallen angel, so you run it, and it's a 10k shield, so yeah, you run it, but...
It's like, you know, when you say that, it reminds me of, like, the 5Ds era, where it's like, yeah, this monster is complete garbage, but it's a tuner, so that makes it pretty good, right? So you gotta run it, because it's a tuner. Yeah.
I mean... What is there to really... I don't want to sound harsh, but like, what is there to really say? It's just it's a plus 5k on a draw. I could see this on a common.
There's only one thing about this that I like, which is that the EB3 cost is actually useful here, because typically in Reziel, the only thing you're burning EB for is Nilbiris, so you have excess of EB. So funnily enough, you're probably able to use your EB a lot more efficiently in this version of the deck. Now, having said that, this deer is not helping your beatdowns hardly at all. You see, what I think it needed to do in order to to like actually be there is have that continuous skill, give it 10k power and 10k shield as long as you're on Resile Nox, and your opponent is grade 3 or greater, right? I think if you have like those conditions, you get that nice con skill, then when you place it, you get a draw and it's a 28k beater. So it's sort of like a masher, right? On place, but it's a masher that gives you a draw. So in other words, an updated masher. That's enough to make it worth running, aside from the fact that, you know, as you astutely put out, it's a fallen angel. So you'd have to run it.
I mean, I was also thinking if you want to go more aggressive, like trying to lean into the Fallen Angel aspect, you can have it so like when it's placed by the skill your Vanguard with Resile Nox, get 5k for each face down card in your damage zone. So it kind of shows like he's empowered by the Fallen, like the actual.
Shoot,
Fallen.
how about retire one of your rear guards at this point? Why not do that?
Yeah,
I could see a totally different version. Yeah, or hell, I could also see where like it's not even retire a rear guard as a cost, but like they have an effect that they call over another unit. Because you know how like a lot of those Resile cards lately have been having skills when you place over them, kind of like Jewel Knights in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, you could really expand that by then overcalling them with units that like have effects when you overcalled with them. And so the idea is that they're sacrificing them in a vicarious way, but it fits seamlessly into your attack patterns, right? Because you still optimally want to have your columns up there. So yeah, it is as it is. Overall, a neat series of cards. I feel like it fails the mark on the concept, and these cards don't really incentivize this too much. Personally, I would probably just play the Faded one over Resile Nox because the Faded one name is actually important for like Liel shenanigans.
And
so
Gabrielius actually too.
Right, yeah, Gabrielius. You can't use Gabrielius here, and so like, is Aragon replacing Gabrielius? No. So
well,
I think
because Gabrielius can only use his drive check skill if you have a Faded one.
Right, exactly. Well, no, what I mean by that is if you were to choose between like Nox and regular Resile, and one of the things that came down to is like what supports are exclusive to them. Gabrielius is an exclusive support, blows Aragon out of the water, right? So I almost feel like this deck was a little too scared of itself. It didn't push the agenda a little harder. So yeah,
I'd say card balance good, design kind of uninspired, to put it bluntly.
Yeah,
you could do more. You could do more. I know you can do better.
But still, not a bad attempt there. Not bad at all.
Like you said, card balance is great.
Let's see. Hey, the boy Maz. Okay, so he's cooked with insect mommy because it's what propagates his waking dreams. Okay, so Commander of Hornets Babs. This is a character, right?
Probably.
Let me
a Shadowverse unit, so I'm gonna assume that's what it is.
Babs.
Oh wait, Hornet.
Babs Royal Commander, Babs Hornet Queen, Shadowverse of Aha! Okay, yeah, here we go. Yep. Babs Hornet Queen. It is a forest craft. This can't be played in the EX area. This is a field EX, but a Hornet token. Okay, so he's going back to the Shadowverse roots with this one again. All right, so it's a singular support card. Stoicheia, grade 3 insects. Okay, which is relevant because there is one insect support card, which is that one Veleno card that actually is a revival unit. If you have an insect Vanguard. Twin Drive Persona, right? So it's got 3 skills. Active the Vanguard Circle once per turn. Cost. Rest any number of your rear guards. I wish to rest 6. For every 2 of your rear guards that were rested, choose one of your opponent's rear guards. Rest it. It cannot intercept and cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. So it's an enhanced paralyze. That's not bad. Let's go. Auto on the Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks, counterblast 1. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards. Stand rear guards. Rest it, then you may stand one of your rear guards. Okay. So that's actually not bad because it's not conditional. So even it didn't say if you did, stand with your rear guards. So you'll stand regardless. So it's a very basic CB stand that may come with the rest for. I don't know why you're doing that though, but I guess it's just if for whatever reason your opponent had a lot of standing units and you need them, during your opponent's stand phase, if one or less rear guards stand, all of your Vanguards with Babs get continuous Vanguard Circle. All your front row units get 10,000 power to the end of your next turn. Oh my god. Okay, I think I actually remember seeing this at one point now. I think that that awakens something in me. Okay. This was looking really like whatever, and then that like rolled into the party late like a freaking wrecking ball. All right, so you take point on this. What do you think about this one, Or?
Very machining. Like this feels very much like a machining effect. So, props. I will say this first auto skill does feel a tad counterintuitive to the first one. Like I get what it's going for, but I feel like the requirement feels a little. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I like to play very efficiently, so it feels like if I have to waste a move, like doing something.
Oh yeah, because it's like it's the clause. It's not going to be used like 99% of the time, and so it's going to just like piss you off 99% of the time.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm not min-maxing enough. So that's,
like, I want every single digit on every single pixel on this effect text to matter.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I think it's more of a personal thing, but. The defensive skill is very original, I'll say. It's very interesting on how that works. I think it could have, given the way Hornets are, I feel like the deck, this could stand to be a little more aggressive, maybe. But that's just a personal taste, and maybe that could be solved with more with the support cards. But
yeah,
as it's a very solid standalone. Yeah, it's a little underpowered, but yeah, it feels a little underpowered as far as like. Well, then again, maybe that's because standard has completely brought in my brain on what powerful actually means. But, you know,
we can't all be Blankmeyer.
No, we can't all be Blankmeyer. We can't all be Akshaya. Anyway, I need to stop ragging on standard before I get hate comments on your video.
I already know one person who loves to throw hate comments at you.
Oh yeah.
Oh Jesus, these videos should not be named.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. All in all, I'd say it's a very solid card. Like it'll. While it feels underwhelming in concept and on paper, I think it has potential once you get actual support made for it. So. Oh
yeah, I think that's like the hallmark of like a good like custom is I'm actually curious about what to do to support this, right? Like that's how you know it's like it's basically there at that point. Like for instance, right? Like can you imagine, because you mentioned it already, like this seems a little underwhelming because it's not like doing too much. Like it's mostly just defensive, but it's not really coming with any sort of win condition. And then the Hornets over here just come in with like huge JoJo biceps of the Pillowman theme playing, and they're like, we all twin drive on rear guard, right? And it's like, oh, okay, here we go. This is the power. So I bet like one, like, because they're, again, like you said, they're Hornets, right? So they sting. So I bet they're not just like aggressive rear guards, because she's a queen, so I get why she's not too aggressive. She's more facilitating. I bet another thing they do is they propagate a lot. I bet they have a lot of ways to like revive and stuff, which is good because it's in Stoicheia. So Stoicheia has a lot of like natural revival, including that aforementioned revival card for insect vanguards. I totally bet Maz was banking on that card being like ran in this version of the deck anyway, which is smart, right? It's good if you're going to design for a card pool. It's good to understand your card pool. I've seen so many people make redundant stuff or make stuff that works absolutely nothing. So this is pretty good, Maz. Shoot, I'd rate this like a 9 out of 10. It seems really nice. Pretty polished, too.
I'd say, yeah, I'd give it from like on paper, on concept, I'd say 6.8 roughly, if you want to do decimal, if you want to be a coward like that. But potential-wise, 10 out of 10. I see the potential for it.
I guess if you're putting the median, maybe 8.5 right now, because I'm including the potential in it, right?
Okay. I'd probably balance it out to about like an 8 out of 10. That's be a really cool deck.
That makes sense. Speaking of, I guess since we're doing the ratings here, what would you rate Lantern and Nox?
Lantern, I'd give it I want to say a 7. That seems right, because like the card itself was fine. It's just that it needs some more fleshing out and a little more thought put into it.
I was actually going to give it a 5. I was going to say like it gets half points for being like functionally okay and balanced, but then the other half is like, what am I doing with this card?
I think that's the thing. I see there's potential for that card, and like I think once the person who made it has a better idea of what they want the card to actually do and what they want the deck around that card to focus on, that could shoot it up even higher. Because I see potential and I see the vision. It just you gotta sort the vision a little bit more is the issue.
Right, makes sense. Nox gets about like a 7 from me.
Oh, see, that's funny. I would have said a 5.
I would flop there. Clearly, our philosophies are close, but we have different priorities here. That makes sense. I'm like, this tastes like gog water. It's like that one meme where like Luffy and Blackbeard are there. It's like, I could die for this. He's like, this is garbage, and they're just like, It's like that, but not as polarized. Okay, so next up is Crazy Flame. Fair warning, these are on the powerful side. So counter impact. Okay, Crazy Flame. Please let me. Oh, okay, I can access this. Impact cards. I actually did see these get posted in the Discord. Again, link in the description. By the way, you want to post your own board, your own customs, right? Shameless plug. But these I didn't read these, so okay, we actually get to read these. Okay, so they've got it from left to right here, but yeah, we might as well let's go ahead and actually just do it from like the originals onward. So let's do Blaster Blade, Dragonic Overlord, Blaster Dark, Dayusha, Lukier, and then kick it off with Leon. I think that makes most sense. I'll just do it like that. Okay, so we got Blaster Blade here. So Light Blade of Courage, order impact, which by the way, I bet this thing's about to explain here anyway, but impact cards are normal orders that don't actually technically get played, and they're effectively once per fight because they have a condition that say if you did not resolve the ability of an impact order. So think of it as like a Regalis piece. Like if you were to think of Fire Regalis, where you can only use a Regalis piece once per fight, and using it in the drop doesn't count as using an order. It's kind of like that, right? So auto in the hand. At the end of your turn, if your opponent has 4 or more damage, you Persona rode this turn. You did not ride a grade 2 unit this turn. Energy plus 3. Bind a grade 3 whose only clan is Royal Paladin on your Vanguard circle. Discard 4 cards from your hand, including this card, and declare final phase. Okay, so already we are talking about the most conditional Blaster Blade the Vanguard I've ever seen on this realm of existence. Choose a Blaster Blade from your soul or drop. Please do from the drop. Write it as stands until end of turn. That unit gets 5,000 power for each unit on your rear circle, and if you have 5 or more units on your rear circle, this unit gets critical +1. Have that unit attack your opponent's Vanguard. At the end of the battle, the unit rode by its ability to attack this turn. Ride the card bound for this cost. Just what did I just read?
The end phase. That's a lot of stuff to do in the end phase.
In the end phase, I begin the battle phase. What?
Bro, I thought a lot of stuff happened when Akshaya rode up to grade 1 when just freaking all the effects going off on the ride phase.
Yeah, like when you were Overdress and Youthberg, and like 5 things have something to say about that action.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god. I mean, this is what we should expect from impacts, because all impacts are final phase cards, so it's like at the end of the turn. So that's not surprising for me. What is surprising is, holy crap, dude, it felt like reading through all the conditions and like costs felt like undergoing a Rube Goldberg machine for a Blaster Blade swing for 35 with a crit.
Yep.
Like that's what that reads as.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically Exculpate the Blaster, so.
Yeah, at least and like it's one that's a little more secure. So it's like a cross between Exculpate the Blaster and Blaster Blade the Vanguard, except the card in hand that's initiating this is Light Blade of Courage. Hell, even has an EB to go with it. So like, the fact that you have to now, it's actually kind of fairly cost efficient if you consider, well, cost efficient in a way. So here's how like the economy works, right? So it's at the end of your turn, so you've already twin drove a couple of cards, right? So MLB or whatever is your Vanguard. This could also work with Alfred. So whichever one, you have 2 drive checks. You have this card, so it's like you have to discard 3 effectively, because this is one of them. So you just have one other additional discard there, and you do this ride. Now, when you do this effect, you're going to get a drive check. So that means that overall, you're negging 2 for this play action. So negging 2 to go for a 35k with the critical, assuming no other skills, we have a full board, is pretty interesting. But there is one little key element here I want to mention for Alfred. In the Alfred's case, for those of you who know, Alfred can't be boosted even in D series, right? So if you place a booster there, but you don't boost Alfred because you can boost his Blaster Blade, making a 43k with a critical and a drive. That's decent. It's so much setup, but it doesn't require counterblast, which is really nice. Crap. What do you think about this play action, Noir? Would you do this? Is this impact worth it?
it's effectively a divine skill where it's like it's a once per fight thing. So, I mean, the thing is that you don't really. Okay, well, the discard is a neg.
It's a neg 2 ultimately, when you include like drive checks and the overall economy. And it's also using energy blast, which, especially for Alfred, that's a little tight for you to use energy blast like that, because you're having to EB every turn for the Vanguard.
I feel like this is definitely like a last gambit thing, which I guess is the point. So, not something not something I would consistently try to do. Not something I would work towards. But if I can get it off, I'll try it. But it's like it's mostly assuming like the opponent's at like 5 and I need or 4 because you know he gets a crit, and you know as long as I have the board set up. And this card is gonna hate control matchups, dude.
Oh yeah, this card is gonna get like. Can you imagine this card? Like it just gets Artisari. It's like in the end, it didn't even matter.
Yeah.
Like in that matchup, it's like you better hope you check that crit, dude. It's kind of a cool card. I will say the one nice thing about this particular kind of card is it's a card that is really good for a surprise element, right? Because it's such a WTF moment that your opponent just doesn't really plan for these kind of things. And even if they did plan for them, like depending on the game state scenario, like what can you do about this? You just like you have to just have the shield for or you don't, and depending on the pressure you've been doing, that could kind of bad. Because another thing that's kind of like nice for Alfred's case, although this takes some extra resources to do it, because everything comes with a cost, right? Unless you're Akshaya. Now, the thing is, they have a rear guard, which is that Soul Saver cosplay for Virgila, and it drive checks like Abwelius. So that does give you an extra plus there as well. So you get more drive pressure. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Let's move on to the other impacts, right? Maybe we can get more thoughts about this impact through like the art of comparison.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
So next up on our list, we have the Draconic Overlord one. Oh man, I've had my fair share of busted Draconic Overlords come my way in the past, so this one's gonna be a doozy. Shoot, you know what? Sharing is caring. How about you read this one?
Sure. Alright. Eternal Apocalypse, Dragon Empire, Normal Order Impact. Continuous. This card cannot be played, and if you have not resolved the ability of an impact during this fight, you may use its ability. Auto Hand. At the end of your turn, if your opponent has 4 more damage and you Persona Road this turn, cost Counterblast 1 and discard 4 cards from your hand, including this card. Okay, that's not bad. And declare Final Phase. Choose one of your Vanguards with Overlord's card name. It loses all of its continuous abilities and gets Drive -1 until the end of turn. And stand it. And choose one of your opponent's rearguards. It gets auto. When this unit is retired from rearguard circle by being attacked, choose one of your Vanguards to deal 1 damage until the end of turn, and have your Vanguard attack that unit.
What the frick? I thought I knew where that was going, and then it took a completely different turn. I was like, oh yeah, okay, stand and attack the opponent's Vanguard with it, duh. And it's like, no, we're going to have it attack a rearguard to make that rearguard self-Daikaiser the opponent. What?
It's a bit of a mouthful, and some of the grammar could have been fixed up a little bit, but I kind of see the vision. I do appreciate that, like, he's not making it overly busted by making sure that the Vanguard loses continuous effect. So if you use the original Draconic Overlord, where if it's attacking a rearguard, your opponent can't guard it. He doesn't get to do that, so you do still at least get to guard this effect. So
right.
Good foresight on
that was really smart. I also like it because it's twofold. Because another thing that the continuous skill removal does, if I recall correctly, that means that it also loses out on the end's continuous skill. So you will lose out on that drive check. You can't get around it.
Yep.
So that's good. Yeah, this seems significantly better than the other one.
I will say it still feels a bit too balanced, just because I don't know, what's the chance? Like, you're giving up 4 cards on the off chance your opponent's willing to PG again. Like, I guess it's a decent trade-off, but it's like,
I'm not gonna lie, in modern Overlord, that's going to be a hard ass because they're already going to hit you with double Persona right to the face or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that other order card is dumb, because that's the thing about this. It doesn't count as an order play, so you can still do that effect. It's insane.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about this, just because, like, I don't know. I feel like okay, I see the vision, and I get like the desire to like attack the rear guard because yes, that's an Overlord thing, and I do appreciate the attempt at the originality. But I feel like it would be equally as opponent if you just stood and then attacked the Vanguard again, especially if you've been stacking crits on Overlord the whole time. So it's like that would just be a straight upgrade over just dealing 1 damage, and you also get the same effect more or less. Especially because like again, it's like while I appreciate that like you made sure like they can guard, it also kind of removes the point of doing this in the first place at the same time. Because
yeah,
like
it's
at least
also...
if it didn't lose its US, it incentivizes running the original Overlord as opposed to literally just running the end for everything, because you know the end is still a much better and more stable Vanguard.
Yeah, another thing that this kind of does that's a little weird to me is like what you mentioned before about the whole, if your Vanguard has a critical, this isn't really going to like translate, right? Because it's just going to hit a rear guard no matter what. So the whack thing about this is that unlike Blaster Blade, this can, no matter what, this is not going to kill an opponent at 4. This has no chance of that.
Yeah.
So if I'm the opponent, I have a PG and he's doing this maneuver, I'm like, take my rear guard, I'll go to 5, dude. Like, yeah, exactly. Shoot, man.
Go through CB.
Yeah, there goes your CB, and you had to discard 4, so that's really tough. Like, yeah, sure, Halb can try to help out with that, but, you know, it's even there, if that's only if you haven't burned your Halbs already. You only got so many of them to work with at the first place, so... Yeah, this, you know, at first I thought this might have been stronger than the Blaster Blade one, but the Blaster Blade one actually seems like it's a little more, like, coherent and makes more sense.
Yeah, Blaster Blade was a better finisher. This one feels like it's better as, like, it's a better for, like, getting momentum. But I feel like if you're ditching 4 cards just to gain momentum, then I think you might be in a bit of a losing game state already.
Yeah, I don't think we understand what getting in the lead looks like with that one.
Yeah. Because part of the reason why Overlord is threatening is because, like, when your opponent's at 4, they have to basically... They either have to chance taking a crit to the face, or they just have to be guarding everything, because you always have that chance to threaten crit.
Can you imagine that you're at 4 face down damage, and you think you've been damage tonight, then your opponent plays this, and you just give them the biggest crit ever? It's like, please attack the rear guard.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, then if anything, this ends up helping the opponent. Okay, okay. I will say this is good if your opponent's at 5, though, because
it's a hassle if the opponent's at 5, because even your defensives don't matter now.
Yep, because presumably the opponent's been stacking it all on the Vanguard. So, okay, I will say this does recommend one thing: if the opponent damage checks OT and if they put on their Vanguard, they do still have to guard the rear guard.
Yeah, that is true, and it's like, where's the OT now, bitch?
Yep.
Oh man. Okay.
I will say, that is one thing in its favor, but like that's a very small.
It's niche. Can you imagine? Like that's what it is. It reads as like a niche benefit for an already niche card.
Yeah, essentially. Which again, I like the creativity behind it, but it's not really doing it right now.
Not for now. Hopefully, Shadow Paladin can do this better. Speaking of, so. It's got the same continuous, so I won't even bother reading it. So the unique effect states that at the end of your turn in the hand, if your opponent has 4 more damage, your persona rolled this turn. Wow, I heard this before. Cost Energy Blast 3, bind a grade 3 who's only Shadow Paladin, discard 4 cards from your hand, including this card, discard final phase. My god, Blaster Dark, can you please be original, dude? Blaster Blade clearly did it 5 seconds before you. Choose a Blaster Dark for your soul arch. We're just gonna do this. Until the end of the turn, that unit gets continuous on the Vanguard circle. This gets 5,000 for each of your units that was retired by your card ability this turn. I like that significantly more. Then have that unit attack your opponent's Vanguard. At the end of the battle, the unit rolled this ability attack for the card. Okay, so all right. So here's the thing about this play pattern, right? This play pattern on one end doesn't get a critical. But what does this play pattern have? Well, for one, it doesn't suck ass against control. But the other thing that it does is Blaster Dark is actually a better Vanguard than Blaster Blade. Blaster Dark has the Twin Drive. I would take the Twin Drive and pop rear guard. As a matter of fact, if you do this effect and get the Blaster Dark ride right there, I mean, when you do that skill, you do have the ability like to do a really funny thing. So if you play the original Phantom Blaster, you can do its on ride skill and recall the Blaster Dark. Which means that if you did this from drop, you technically revived it back. So
that's funny,
that's kind of nice. And that's a free ability, by the way. It's a free on play. So yeah, I wonder if I'm the only one who actually remembered that thing. But yeah, you can do that, but it also means you also have to be playing PPO, which is more than enough of a drawback for you. So yeah, what do you think about this one? I actually think this is a little bit better. It just feels more reliable to me.
It feels like the best one, just because well, for one thing, it refunds your costs significantly better than the other two. Because Overlord, you get one drive check or no drive checks. Blaster Blade, again, also only gets one drive check. So this one can refund you to 2. So at least you break even on this one. So this one is easily more stable, and it also goes through your deck better because, again, twin drive. So.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you do have to CB and retire to get it, but you know your clan is built around that like play action, so it's not that bad.
Not to mention, being able to play the Blaster Dark ability is actually beneficial to you now. So it's like, yeah, do it.
Yeah.
The funny thing though is that you could also play the Blaster Blade and this in the same deck because they're both Counter Sanctuary. They're not distinguished by clans.
Oh yeah, I guess you can.
I don't know you would, but you could.
Oh, what kind of head-ass build would that be? Where you're running both a grade 3 Shadow Paladin and a grade 3 Royal Paladin, and you have Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark.
Right?
I mean, you know, unironically, if MLB was also treated as a Shadow Paladin, this would have kind of been cooking. I could actually see where this could have cooked a little bit. Now, in that version, Blaster Blade actually ends up being better because MLB doesn't inherently retire your rear guard, so you're gonna have to rely on the good old Blaster Dark to get you there. But you can get yourself there. And before anyone says, well, yeah, but I mean, CB and retire is still kind of bad, right? Like, and not only is the clan built around it, but you also get to retire one of your opponent's rear guards. So in addition, you also get a nifty little bit of control to go with it, which can be annoying for the opponent. So yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you. This is the best of the 3 so far. Greediness Shadow is not greedy. It's just reliable, comparatively speaking. This is still
the Shadow one is best.
Yeah, go figure. You know, as the natural order dictated. Although keep in mind, when I say reliable, this is relative to needing to be in the hand while the opponent's at limit break, and you Persona Road, and you pay these conditions. But relative to that, it's pretty good. Dayusha is next. It's Brant. Want to take this one?
Sure. March of the Emperor. Brant Gate. Normal order impact. We already read the continuous effect. Auto hand at the end of your turn. If your opponent has 4 or more damage and you Persona this turn, or your Vanguard is D-Legion.
Whoa, that's new. Okay.
That is new. All right. Costs Counterblast 1. Discard this card. Put 4. Ooh, very different.
Oh, okay. Cooking.
Yeah, put 4 rear guards with Dimensional Robo and its card into your soul and declare Final Phase. Energy Blast 3. Search your deck for 1 grade 3 with Dimensional Roper and its card name. Write it as stand, and that unit gets power plus 20k and crit plus 1 until end of turn. Then have your Vanguard attack your opponent's Vanguard.
But this is so much better than like the Overlord one. What the frick?
Yeah, that's the best one.
Holy dude, it even energy charges you, dude. So like it makes up for the freaking cost. Yeah, that's energy charge. Holy crap! This is significantly better than the other 3 of them combined.
Oh yes.
I mean, okay. So let's break this down. No. You read it. You go first. Although I mean, we're probably gonna say the same basic things here.
Yeah, okay. The fact that this is already a significantly more efficient card because you're not discarding 4 from hand. You're making use of 4 rear guards that you've attacked with already or rested to get power buffs or whatever. I don't remember how Dimensional Rope was playing in D. But point being, this actually makes better use of your units. It energy charges you, which as we've established in many episodes featuring Chris Rain, that's a very rare trait. And on top of that, it deck thins by grabbing a grade 3 from your deck, writing it as stand, and it gets 20k and a crit, which means if your opponent's at 4, that's threatening lethal already. Well, they have to be at 4 in order to play this thing in the first place. It's definitely threatening lethal, which again, because you just deck thin by 1, that has naturally increased your chance of seeing a critical trigger. Or Elder Breath, because, that is a thing, unfortunately.
So I'm doing my research a little bit. Yeah, you know what's also crazy about that energy charge? So you ride Daikaiser, right? Daikaiser does not need to be in the D-Legion state to do the energy blast Guardian retire. It doesn't need to be there. So you know what this also then means? This means that here's your play pattern. You do the CP discards and all that, which you could definitely do. You ride a Daikaiser from the deck. It becomes a 33k attacker with a critical, right? I think it's a 13k base. Becomes a 33k attacker with a critical. But then you can energy blast the 3 that you get here for free in order to break anything that isn't a PG. So it is especially PG. If they guard with an over trigger, it's getting blasted. I think, right? No. It doesn't let you blast over trigger. But, right? Yeah, okay. If they guard with anything other than over trigger, they blast that? What the frick? And here's the cream on top. You just de-legion next turn. That secures your ride for the next turn. What?
But also, like I said, you deck thin by 1. You have double crit, which means it increases your chance of, and you keep twin drive too, as far as I can tell. So you increase your chance to see Elder Breath or a critical trigger.
Right, and something else worth noting, and like the thing that, and I mean, I know about like the power and the attack and all that because it's also a twin drive, which is already more card advantage than any of these other ones are doing. But that energy charge is actually deceptively powerful for another reason. Because what if you don't do Daikaiser, you just do Dayusha and do his play patterns, right? Then you have another 3 energy to like get more field muster out there. You can get more D-Robos out there from the soul because of the bases that you've accumulated, right? Because generally in D-Robo, you have to like rest a lot of bases to like get the energy necessary to then like rest more bases and get like the energy blast to call them out there. This helps a lot with that. Man, I'm happy this is a once per fight skill, but what the frick, dude? This I thought
this is like reading Vastruger than reading Akshaya. I was like, damn, where did the jump come from?
Yeah, like I see the gap, man.
This feels fitting for an impact card at least, but I'm just like, damn, where did this come from?
Finally, an impact card that has impact. What the hell? At first it's like, what's it?
Which does make me think you could do more with these costs then, like for the Greediness Shadow. Well, I did mention like for a previous card, it would feed too deeply into like just feeding itself. But have the costs be able to be retire 4 instead of discard 4. This is more that's more Shadow Paladin related. Eternal Apocalypse is fine as a discard because that's kind of Overlord's thing. They discard to restand and all that. Blaster Blade, I'm not really sure what you would necessarily do, but like you could do something. Like, or like at the very least, like maybe have a.
I would just pay like all the resource costs. I would do like Counter Blast, Soul Blast, and Energy Blast.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. And
so
then maybe
that's pretty
for every reward you have. Yeah,
that's pretty whack, man. I love that. I like that. At first, I thought Crazy
was
crazy.
I actually like the Emperor a lot.
I thought Crazy was crazy for saying that these were like over tunes, and now I see he finally made a crazy card worthy of the name.
Oh yeah, you know the funny thing is I think this is just fine. This card isn't even that crazy because like it's just in comparison to the other thing, this thing's fucking bonkers. But like all things considered, for like a once per fight effect, I think this is perfectly fair.
Yeah, I mean you're paying your costs, right? Like you're actually going the distance with it. So I would see where this would be impactful, pun intended, but it wouldn't be blatantly unfair. So yeah, March of the Emperor, easily the best one so far. So what's this one? Silverthorned Finale. Hand and Soul. At the end of your turn, if your opponent has 4 more card in damage and you Persona Road this turn, the Charming clauses. Counterblast 1. Put this card into the drop. Put 2 cards from your hand into your soul and declare final phase. Ooh, okay. Okay, so it's not the same. So that's a relevant cost. Choose one of your rear guards whose clan is only Pale Moon that was placed from soul this turn. Stand it until end of the turn. Your opponent cannot call sentinels during the battle it attacked, and then it attacks your opponent's Vanguard. Ooh,
Interesting.
This, if you hit OT, goes so effing hard. I would 100% like go Eidos Faro just to make this a son of a bitch.
Yeah, for real.
Like,
or hell, Volnute just.
Volnute's good. It's like you had to deal with 2 100k swings. Now how about 3 100k swings? And this one can't Sentinel. Although, you know, to say it can't Sentinel is probably redundant because they probably burned their Sentinels just to survive the first 2.
Yeah, probably.
Holy crap. This one's also pretty good. This one's definitely strong.
Yeah.
I almost want to say that like it's a little unfortunate how good it is because it brings to light just how disproportionately weaker everything else in Lukier is by comparison. Because this is gonna do like Lukier would then build its entire deck around the one punch, the one jump punch. Like That's what this would do.
Really hard.
Yeah, it's really good, but like, God, man, it's all they can do about it. After that and before that, they're just playing the resource game.
Yep, it's clay.
So yeah, okay, it's probably the second best one.
Again, unique cost. It's good. Like, this is still minusing you. This is still an actual cost. They're definitely going to still be feeling it. So good on you.
Yeah, I like it. It's actually kind of got a little bit of facilitation from that cost, so it's really nice. Yeah. Okay, last one here. Go for it, brother.
All right. Final Storm.
Best name so far.
Impact. Yeah. Auto hand. At the end of your turn, if your opponent has 4 or more damage and you Persona roll this turn, cost counter +1, and discard 3 cards from your hand, including this card, and declare final phase.
Nice. This one less expensive.
This one. Yeah, this is somehow not the most expensive one. Choose 1 Tear Dragon or unit whose only that's a typo. I'm assuming. I'll also read over it. Or unit whose only clan is Aqua Force on your rearguard circle. Stand it, and all Blue Storm Armada in your order zone, and have the chosen unit attack your opponent's Vanguard.
I get it. This is to be used with Glory Maelstrom. So the way Glory Maelstrom works is on 4th battle of the turn or more, when your Maelstrom attacks, you can retire and draw, right? But the other thing that it does is when your Maelstrom attacks, you can rest 2 of the Blue Storm Armada to make it a Sentinel Restrict. So this is very similar to the Lukier one.
You know, I like that a lot, actually. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a combo play. It's actually, like, it's pretty intuitive. Yeah, that's actually pretty sick.
It's really good. And also, like, in this one, you don't mind it being discards because, what other cost is Aquaforce going to do?
Exactly. But
also, it's in Stoicheia. Yeah. Stoicheia has that good old revival goodness, so you can benefit from it later down the road, or at least not make it hurt as much.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Also, as a Maelstrom player, sometimes we look, Maelstrom Gins, we know how it is. You're holding on to at least 3 copies of the Mother Effer in your hand. You can afford to discard a couple.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's okay, so the real question, because March the Emperor is clearly the best one. Between this and Lukier's, which one do you think is the better one?
I want to say Final Maelstrom is better, mostly just because the deck it goes in, I actually know what it does, and it's actually pretty potent. This can actually be really good. Not only that, this actually feels like it's purposely made with the deck itself in mind, because while I do like Silverthorn Finale, it does kind of read like you can more or less put this on anything, more generally speaking. Well,
yeah,
like
that's
Final
kind of
Maelstrom
an interesting one.
It's specific to Maelstrom. Like, this is a Maelstrom card. So I think that's the reason why I'm gonna rate this one the second highest.
Gotcha. It's a little tough, right? Because like they both read more or less the same thing, but at least with Silverthorn Finale, like it outright does the Sentinel Restrict, so it doesn't require you to be on Glory. Not that you should be missing Glory in this deck, because you should have it in Ride deck. It's a little tough too, because we also then have to like think about like the quality of the rear guards. It's obvious with Final Maelstrom, ironically, and though like Final Maelstrom doesn't tell you what you're supposed to do this for, but you know, you're supposed to do it with Maelstrom, but the rear guard Maelstroms. So that's a lot of value, right? That's a draw, which means it's less discard. That's a retire, so that also means there's more value to the discard. There's the Sentinel Restrict with it. Like that's pretty good. If you stack your power onto that unit, which I can definitely see you stacking the power on that unit. Because one of the things about like the card is you're probably going 4th battle of the turn. You're going to try and swing with Glory Maelstrom, get triggers, put those on the other Maelstroms, and then those Maelstroms will start swinging, right? Ideally, that's where you want to go for, because you're trying to delay the Maelstrom swings until 4th battle of the turn or more, so you don't waste that condition. So if all things are peachy, that thing is stacking all your triggers on it. So they're neck and neck, because Pale Moon, isn't there like a Pale Moon beater that's like pretty good? Let me look up something real quick. I'm gonna look up. Yeah, let's do some research here. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna type in Pale Moon under the standard one here, and I'm gonna look at all the stuff that has Pale Moon. Okay, maybe this is the one that we need to be paying attention to. So this is a Showered Applause Dragon. If you have a Vanguard with only Pale Moon, it's Pale Moon. When it's placed in a rear circle, choose a card for your drop. Okay, if it's placed at the soul this turn, it gets 5k. It's 23k instead. All right. Now let me go ahead and do. I'm gonna do Pale Moon as a. Wait, would that be race or is it text? Okay. What about Lukier? Maybe I should do Lukier. Okay, yeah, let me do Lukier. Okay, we got some more targets here. Rising Dragon. Okay, Rising Dragon's actually more impressive. So Rising Dragon is a 30k beater. Okay, so you got a 30k beater over Maelstrom, which is probably going to be like an 18k, 23k kind of beater. Probably a little bit more powerful, but that's just a little bit. Does Lukier help out anything with Venus? Let's see. It's going to give front row 5k power. All right. Yeah, the Maelstrom one's a little bit better, probably. I can't argue for it enough. Maelstrom, congratulations. You're second best, as you were always intended to be.
Truly.
Wow, D-Robo got the best one out of the bunch. That's awesome.
Yep. You know what? I respect it. That D-Robo one's pretty sick.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. Art-wise, I'm giving it to the Ren one, but actually, no. Crap, I think, but still, the Kote one's really good too. The March of the Emperor might just win all around then. That's
I think that's the winner. Oh, just on all accounts.
Cool card's crazy. I like we didn't really say it. We didn't really say it because we were too focused on just reviewing them. They were creative. They were fascinating.
Oh yeah. I would like to see these better fleshed out, and once you get more ideas, I'd love to see updated versions of these because some of these, like March of the Emperor, I think is perfectly fine. March of the Emperor, call it done. That thing's perfect.
Final Maelstrom is probably the best one in terms of just all around design. It is inarguably right in the sweet spot to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Final Maelstrom is also up there. Actually, I would argue it's right up there with March of the Emperor because it both the thing that really makes these two stick out is that they're both clearly worded and written, knowing the archetypes that they come from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
March the Emperor
one's kind of there, but not quite, right?
Yeah, Luke here, like I said, it reads yes, it's good in the deck, but the way it's worded and the way it's designed clearly kind of feels like you could kind of put this in anything at the end of the day, if that makes sense. You could put this in, say, I don't know, say you could put this on a Zorga unit. You say this was Zorga's Divine Skill. I could buy it just as easily.
Oh yeah, actually, let me read something here because it's a Dark States. It's the Dark States one, right? So as long as you have a Pale Moon only, wait, you know what? There's something I didn't even consider here. That's crazy about this card.
What's up?
Hari.
Oh.
With the Crest power up, Hari can use this.
Oh.
Hold up a second. That's bad. Oh no!
Oh wait, no. And you Persona wrote this card. Okay, Hari can't use it. Hari can't use it.
Crap. Okay. I was going to be triple typo triggers from Hari's massive deck.
Okay. You need the Persona ride, so it's okay. We're safe.
I can't wait for one commenter to say, "Hey, but you forgot that he can't Persona ride," because they didn't wait 5 seconds for you to say that. Oh boy, sorry for the jump scare there, but I was like, wait a minute, can I cook? But no. He saw to that. The condition. Okay, that's a nice condition. Ooh, that is really cool though. Honestly, crazy. I'm gonna give him an 8.5. I think they're really creative, and he had a couple of bangers in there. Not all of them were created equal though, which is where the 1.5 comes in.
Yeah, I'll say the way I best describe it, the ones that didn't hit, I give a 4. The ones that did hit, I give it a 9 because those were fantastic.
Damn, 4! Holy crap, dude! I'm sorry. Overlord offended you so much.
Well, it's Overlord and Blaster Blade. I see the vision, but they didn't really. They could use a little more fleshing out. Not only that, but I think you could also do more with the costs. With the last 3, they all had original costs, more specific to their clans. The first 3 were a bit too generic in my opinion. That's
Yeah,
my
they're
thing.
just okay. I mean, Gradient Shadow was at least a little bit better, but I mean, we were just comparing like brass tacks to like aluminum tacks, right? Like not too much different. And then March of the Emperor came in and said, "Bitches, this is where the document starts," right? Like it was like a over there, man. It was crazy.
I think March of the Emperor's where the light bulb went off in his head. I'm just like, oh, okay, there's the idea.
He did the Thinking Man pose. Like they kind of read like he did them in 2 batches, right? The first 3 were like his test experimentals to see what was up, and he's like, all right. He might have even gotten like, because I think he shared these at one point in the Discord, right? I was mentioning that before. I just never read them. So I can see where people commented, hey, these are useful as toilet paper, but like not in my deck, which I don't actually mean that. That's just me being like facetious, right? But then he's like, all right, so we can go harder. And then these came out, and they actually they're bold enough to be useful. All right, let's continue. We love Crazy, but we cannot let him take up the entire video here. So next up is Emperor Crimson with a K, because we play Mortal Kombat on the side. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, hold up a second. 4 cards. Whoa, one of these is not like the other. Actually, no, 2 of them are. Oh, they're 2. Okay, so I'm gonna have to get these suckers all on the line here. So he's got descriptions for like all of these. I'll just go ahead and read the description for Bastion Liberatus. My best cook. I made them before getting the new support, so I imagine that Bastion learned that he can't protect Guide Getter Sanctuary alone, so he teamed up with Soliron. And Soliron is an anime guy. Cool. As he always was. Okay, we begin with Destined One of Freedom, Bastion Liberatus. You see, this one is going to have a divine skill, and he made it a Destined One, so he gets to have it. All right, continuous on the Vanguard. You know what? Actually, you read these ones. There's Sacrifice Glass ones coming, so I'll read the Sacrifice Glass ones. I love that deck.
All right, well, let's just get this out of the way again. Destined One of Freedom, Bastion Liberatus. That's a pretty sick name, I'll give you that. The continuous Vanguard Circle, your grade 3 rearguards in the front row get power plus 5k during your turn. Intercept and shield plus 5k when placed on Guardian Circle.
Oh, the playstyling's a little bad because that doesn't interact with intercept, because intercept needs to specify put. But I'm gonna imagine they intended it. Yeah,
I'll say honestly, you could probably just reward this to your grade 3 rearguards and all your front row grade 3 rearguards get power plus 5 during your turn. Get power plus 5k, intercept, and shield plus 5k.
Yeah, I mean, like you could also even just say take out the during your turn bin, just have it all be all above. Even Bastion and Core beat of 18k bases, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like you could just do that. Don't be scared. You can do it.
Don't be scared. big mean reviewers here gonna be like, you put 1-2 less costs. It's busted. We're gonna kick him on the like school ground or whatever. You should have added energy blast to that condition.
Okay, all right. Anyway, next skill. Auto Vanguard Circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. Choose one of your rearguards, stand it, and if you have 3 or more grade 3 units, it gains power plus 5,000. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher, and you drive checked a grade 3 or greater card, you can choose 2 rearguards instead. Ooh, okay, so 5 attacks now. Nice. Jeez, you know, that seems like a decent upgrade. That seems like a logical upgrade for the next, for Bastion. Yeah. I
kind of wish I had a little bit of a cost there, though, because it doesn't even, like, see or whatever.
Could have done with it. Yeah, the reason why that, like, Bastion was able to restand 1 was because, like, well, for one thing, everything does that now. For another thing, he still discards for, at least for the, whatchamacallit, for the drive check ability, because so that was his main thing. Being able to just restand 2 just for free is...
Right, like, if you could have put it in between there, because Accord is still a pretty decent unit, so we don't need to go, like, too much higher in it, right? Alright, so what's the Divine skill here?
Yeah, alright. Divine skill, Auto Vanguard Circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher, discard 2 cards from your hand, stand this unit. Plain and simple, but you know what? You know, that seems like a logical evolution for this for him, weirdly enough.
But Noir, I have a problem with this.
What's up?
That second skill isn't once per turn.
Oh wait. So 7 attacks. So that's 1 7 attack turn you can get there. Oh boy.
Okay, we found our first like blatantly busted card. It was too good to be true. I knew it had to happen at some point. Holy crap! Why? And then it's like this card 2's not a cost. You use Twin Drive.
Yep.
Or hell, you know what? Or shoot, you play the order that lets you like form up chosen knights, and it's a triple driver twice.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh god, yeah, that's pretty unbalanced. So it gets all these skills for free, and your divine skill lets you have like at bare minimum 6 attack turn. Like, really, man?
Well, at the very least, I'll say this feels more in line with a typical custom card. For a custom card review.
Yeah, I guess we're being a little mean about it, but like, I mean, the customs have been getting like a lot better over time. So I've oddly like become more impacted by these because they're less frequent than they used to be.
Yeah.
So, oh man.
Although honestly, that's the thing. If you made that first auto skill once per turn, I think this would actually be a very strong card, but a very decent card nonetheless.
Yeah, the auto skill also came with a counterblast, and maybe like you also need an additional resource cost from the discards as well to restand. Yeah, because the thing is that Vargodragress like also like has that second restand as its divine skill, but like you CB instead of like doing the discards. So
one for each restand. So
right, so that's where its costs are coming in. This one doesn't CB at all, right? And I feel like that's the issue that I have with it.
You can also just burn all your CB on Alden, or the new updated Alden card that just power creeps the old one.
Right, and Leia Lamorta is a similar way, right? Because Leia Lamorta also gets like a third drive, and that one's actually like a +1, because you're not having to discard any cards for it. So this one's at least a break even for it, but oh man.
I see the vision though. I do, and I like the vision. It just let's rein it in a little bit, buddy. Let's rein it in a little bit, and then you got it perfectly. Because otherwise, I think it's a fantastic card.
Okay, let's go on to the next one now.
Yeah, alrighty. Do you want me to get this one too?
Yeah, I'll take the next two.
Okay.
Oh, I just
normal
read
unit.
that.
Supreme Stage of Fate. Solarion Magia.
Wait, it comes from Soul.
I'm getting there. Patience, my friend. Okay, so no Persona Right icon. Act Vanguard Circle D Legion. Okay, we're starting off strong, aren't we? D Legion, Destined One of Freedom.
Next thing I know, it's gonna happen when your G unit strides.
Oh god, yeah. D Legion, Destined One of Freedom, Fashion Libertas. So that was the last card. If your opponent's Vanguard is great 3 or greater, this unit may return up to 2 trigger units that are neither heal nor over trigger, along with non-trigger cards for a total of 4 cards from your drop into your deck once. Search your deck for the specified card, D Legion, and while in D Legion, the Persona Right icon is lost for both units. Okay, that's D Legion. Fair enough.
They really had to include that like reminder text on an SP.
Oh yeah. Act Vanguard Circle once per turn. Cost Energy Blast 3. This unit gets Auto Vanguard Circle once per turn. When a unit stand during the turn this unit attacks, I'm assuming. Oh wait, when a unit stand this turn attacks.
Like stood this turn attacks. So it needs to, which can literally be anything because you stand during the stand phase.
Oh, okay. Until end of that battle, increase or decrease that unit's drive to 1 and perform drive tests. Okay, so you wow, so you plus even harder then. You just plus that.
Yeah, I want to make a joke and say do it on your bastion bastion restand, you coward.
Yeah. He gets that skill until end of turn, and if your bind zone does not have Supreme Sage of Fate Solarion Magia, cost bind a Supreme Sage of Fate Solarion Magia from soul, hand, or drop. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card, add it to hand, and put the rest on the top or bottom of the deck and anywhere. Oh, so you get top deck manipulation too.
Okay, so this dude has apparently decided to bring Daikaiser into Keter Sanctuary. What the heck? He brought, like, there's no guard break, but what he does get is the EV3 skill. He has the oddly specific once per fight bind condition effect going for it too, and it's on a D Legion with a card that wasn't initially made for D Legion, it felt like. What?
I think Okay, I stand by what I said that Bachelor Libertas as a standalone card is a fantastic card. Just add a once per turn clause in that first auto effect and you're golden. This one is what do I even say?
You know what also gets me about this card, like overall? By the way, when I shouted that it calls from the soul, in case you're wondering, I meant because I was making a joke on the name because it's the Magia keyword. I didn't actually read the card. So I was just as floored by you reading through the freaking axe skill there, the second one. So okay, the drive check thing, I get it because, funnily enough, do you know much about Solaron?
I do not know too much about it. I know a little bit. I played against it once.
So funnily enough, that whole thing about letting your rear guard drive check, that's actually a Solaron thing. That's not a Bastion reference. Because Solaron Mask lets you do that. And then of course the top deck manipulation is also for all the Solaron cards. So the one thing that is nice about this is it actually lets you play the Solaron cards and the Solaron and like the Bastion cards like in one deck, because when you de-legion, you get them both. So you're kind of fusing archetypes there that normally just do not interact with each other.
This is okay. I'll give it this then. Aside from the absolute how do I put this nicely? The absolute train crash of common sense that occurs in terms of card balance. I like how this actually sort of intertwines the two different archtypes.
It is clever.
Bro, put some cost on these things, because dear God, you're plussing like 3-5 or something on one when you use the divine skill. Because when
and you just energy blast
with it, so it's like,
yeah, that's a guaranteed resource. That's not good. Another thing that gets me about this is like, as a legion, that means that Bastion Libertas just does all of its skills anyway. So you still have the 5k power. You still have the intercept the shield. You still have this. God, they still have all of that, right? And when you stand a legion mate, a legion leader stands with it. So you actually get 2 legion attacks. That's insane. This
not only
this
that. You get to manipulate the top 3 cards of your deck, which means you're probably gonna be if you're not guaranteed to trigger off the top 3, you're definitely gonna be like filtering the deck enough where you're most likely gonna guarantee at least 1 to 2 triggers on your two triple drives. Because let's be real, if you're gonna play this, you're gonna form up O Chosen Knights, because there's no reason not to. Because O Chosen Knights also doesn't count specifically rear guards; it counts both your legion units. So what
an astute point, my friend. Let me go ahead and do just that, actually. I'm going to go Chosen, go Keter Sanctuary. It says to your grade 3 units, that's 2 of them.
Yep.
You can have this full condition set up with just a front row.
Yep. Okay, before I hurt the guy's feelings, the card designs are pretty cool. They are very well designed from a lore perspective. It's just I think the effects are actually fine. It's just you need to put bigger costs on them, because they do too much stuff for free is the concern. I'll say that. Overall, the card effects and what they actually do from a lore standpoint and from a functionality standpoint, they're actually okay. The problem is they do it all for free, essentially.
Right.
Like, you need to once you put some costs on all of them, then this might not be a problem.
Yeah, one thing I will compliment for them as well is that Solaron is not a bad pick to go with Bastion. Because Solaron's like deck manipulation gimmick works really well with Bastion, who needs specific drive check to like get online fully. That was fairly clever. And one of Solaron's best like rearguard supports is a grade 3, so that is definitely a good beater for you to use in this hybrid deck, right? So Solaron can definitely bring his higher grades like into the fray here. It does have a lot of potential conceptually. It just really stumbled on the effects, like you said. So yeah, I mean, I think I'd give these about like 6 out of 10. They're very creative and they excite me, but not when I read the lack of costs.
Yeah, so I'll say from a bias standpoint, I'll give it an 8 out of 10, because I do really like the idea and I do like the journal designs for these cards. But again, like you said, with the cost, because of the lack of cost, I'm docking it a couple points down to a 6 as well, because, like I said, from a game standpoint, this deck would probably be tier 1. Like,
tier 1? Dude, Boss Saga is crying in the corner mourning for her streak that just got ended.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was about to say, would Akshay actually be able to deal with this? I don't know.
Oh, no.
Probably not, yeah. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, well, Akshay is like, huh, my ability to go second's fantastic, and then these enter the room.
Yep, basically.
Jesus,
it's like
dude.
you were saying.
Yeah, it's like, yes, I will now proceed to throw back 2 critical triggers and then go for no, not even 5, 7 drive turn. Like 7 drives, 7 attack turn. Like, no, effing no way. All right, sacrifice glass time. Sacrifice glass decided that the glass should not be on his head and should instead be the thing he drinks tea from. I understand. So this is a Dark State. It's a Destined one of Ritual Sacrifice class. So he's got a Divine skill. Now, he's got all the normal other stats, so let's just read the effects. Out on the Vanguard circle, at the beginning of your main phase, you get, when your opponent's unit is retired from rear circle or guardian circle, you energy charge 1. It's the same as before. Auto, at the end of battle, this unit attacked a Vanguard. You energy blast 4. Search your deck, hand, or drop for a manifestation of the Great Skyline Grand Dogma. Write it, it gets power plus 15,000, drive -2. If you search the deck, shuffle. If you wrote a card, you and your opponent may draw a card. So this is exactly like Glass. So this is straight up copy and paste Glass, but then put on a Divine skill. So what does it have? Act, Vanguard Circle. Search your deck for up to 1 Grand Dogma card. Bind it and shuffle the deck. Okay. I shouted really loudly, but it's because I understand the significance of that.
No, I know it too. You get that. You get her full effect 1 turn early. That's
sweet Jesus. Whoa. Until end of turn, reduce the next counterblast cost you pay for that card's abilities by counterblast. It didn't CB. That must be the next card. And you can activate its act when placed on Vanguard Circle. What? Okay, I gotta read the next thing, but because this is clearly highly good. But all I'm gonna say is it's sacrifice glass, but you get to speed up. Is it balanced? Potentially. Is it relevant? Definitely. Thematically speaking, though, like, uncool. Why is that what we decided to do? We should lean into the fact that Glass is a slow and tedious deck, right? That's the appeal of it. Why are we being like, my heart beats in hyperdrive and just bind the Grand Dogma, just skip a turn of the progress? Like, that's lame. You should struggle.
Not only that, reducing counterblast by 1 is already enough. Reducing by counterblast 2, especially when you've already accelerated the deck by a whole turn, which means, like, okay, so you go through, normally you would have gone through 4. Now you only go through 3, and one instance is free now. So effectively you only pay counterblast 4 over the course of this entire with all those cards. Someone outside is a real asshole with their engine.
Jesus, let me see what this thing does. Avatar, the Great Skyline, Grand Dogma Domini. Oh wait, that's Shadal Winda, I think. So this is Shadal thing, because so this is a waifu-fied Shadal construct right here. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. Actually, in that case, maybe the glass is also Yu-Gi-Oh card. I'm just not understanding what it is. Okay, so could you please die for me? No, dear, no, I won't. Why is that ghost? Okay, continues the Vanguard Circle. This unit is also regarded as the Grand Dogma. So, in other words, but it's only a Vanguard Circle, so it's still a different name in the deck. Gotcha. During your turn, you get 5,000 power for each manifestation of this Great Skyline Grand Dogma in your bind zone, and all their act skills. Now, let me go ahead and give y'all an impression of what that entails. So if you look down over to Grand Dogma here, so we're going to go over to set 3, which is one of the best sets that, like, in like DZ, not from a meta standpoint, but from a fun standpoint, right? Here's the thing, you read this effect. Do you see an act skill here? Because it does not have one. It has 3 auto skills. So that means that it says all manifestation of the great and all of their act abilities. So what the hell does this mean? So act on the Vanguard Circle once per turn. Counterblast 2. So this is the thing you're supposed to reduce. And this unit gets triple drive. Oh, so you're trying to give it free triple drive? You're giving it free triple drive as without needing it to be the act timing from Sacrifice Glass's Divine skill. So the point is you're supposed to do this thing and then okay. But you know what's whack about that? If it says all of the manifestation of the great... This doesn't have an act skill. What? Okay.
Huh.
And okay, so auto on the Vanguard Circle. When your opponent's rearguard boosts, if you have 3 or more manifestations, the Great Skyline Grand Dogma, this has to be the original one, because again, this is only a Vanguard Circle, this is regarded, so it has to be the other 3 Grand Dogmas, so this is slow as hell. You can make the unit attack your units instead. Okay. If the attack does not hit your Vanguard, you may draw a card. Attacks to your rear guards also counts. Okay, so in other words, it's reminiscent of the Gehoricon, which was the G Guardian for Nubatama, which dominated the opponent's rear guards, which I guess is the reason why it's called Domini. So that's a little clever, but instead you're making it attack of its own volition instead of like when it would boost. So that means now that you're having 2 attacks happening kind of at the, so that means that, let's say you're boosting like a grade 2 with a grade 1, right? You're making that grade 1 now suddenly attack instead, and then you have to like resolve this, and then I assume then the other attack from the grade 2 initially is now on standby?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and then you draw, this is free by the way, so your opponent cannot boost for the rest of the game anymore. Wow. Weird. And again, what act ability? It has none. And then CP2 just to get triple drive, like, I get it. The idea is that at a certain point, like, it's supposed to get the triple drive ability because there's a restand, except that the restand ability is coming from the effect of Grand Dogma, which is an auto skill. So, what the hell?
I see the vision.
Do you? I don't.
A tad misguided. Like, okay, I see the idea. Is that basically you get 8 copies of Grand Dogma now, I think was the idea. I think he forgot to say that this unit can also be counted as Grand Dogma in the deck and Bind Zone as well. I'm assuming he meant to do that. I'm assuming when he said act skills, he meant to do auto, because otherwise I'm assuming this is meant to just be like the original Grand Dogma.
And add more to
he meant for this to have the original Grand Dogma abilities, and then it has its own on top of that. So, with that in mind, this card's busted. Like, imagine if I was swinging with Messiah, like, and all of a sudden, like, okay, so now I'm just locked out of my counter charge effect because
you have to sacrifice Messiah. I can't boost anymore for the rest of the game. Yeah, you draw
he's not boosting anymore, so that means you get 3, but again, you accelerated by a turn with Divine Skill, which, mind you, none of these are grade restricted, so technically you could just do this on turn 3 going first, and all of a sudden you have Grand Dogma already set up with 1 in Bind.
Right, exactly. Oh, God, I'm not even gonna lie to you. low key. This let me check something. So it says search the deck for a Grand Dogma and binds it, right? For that card's abilities, what's weird about that is that card is the card in the bind zone. So like you don't ride from the bind zone, and it's not created as that thing anyway. So what are you reducing here? Like these are dysfunctional. They don't actually like function as I would hope they intended it. What? Okay, and honestly, just the fact that like it skips up and then all like here's the auto skill is interesting. It's completely busted, like you said, but at least it's interesting. But aside from that, everything else about this is such a flop. So like, it's like a 2 out of 10. It like this is so weird and like just a mishmash. And the sacrifice glass like does 2 sins. It skips over the part where like you having to wait a while is the flavor of the deck. Why are you skipping out on flavor, dog? And then on top of that, it's doing the same Bushiroad nonsense of here's the same copy and paste. Let's give you 1 more skill on top of that and call it a day. Yeah. Like, man, 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. I don't like this.
Yeah. Also, he had a notes to each of the cards. He said, note, as much as I love Glass, it is so dog water when compared to most Dark States decks. Free draws for opponents. Went online at turn 5 onwards. That was the point of the deck, though. So I made him more threatening on a grade 3 ride. You made him a little too threatening, buddy. Is all I can say about that. And a more balanced reward for both players. That was not balanced in any way, may I just say. Keeping the bait alive. There was no bait. There was just destruction. Good sir. Or ma'am. Whichever you are. Anyway. And then for the Grand Dogma comment. They say, in theory, Grand Dogma is a busted Vanguard unit. Plus 15k. Free restand with 2 threats. Is that restand? With
retires, because Grand Dogma scales to retire, like bind for retires. Yeah.
The only problem, you needed 2 of her in the bind zone first, which is turn 5+. Again, that's kind of the point. I am making her on later turns more rewarding since you will be losing so many resources then. Her final skills is a pseudo-dominate, keeping the theme of baiting. In hindsight, I thought that was kind of terrible. / looks at Magnolia, Leonore, and Blankmire with fear.
So in other words, they take the completely, like, they say, look at this dysfunction. This makes it more functional. Look at the things that are busted. I'm afraid this might be a little underwhelming. We have different expectations.
Is this guy encapsulating the meme of what an anime tourist is like? It's like, oh, I really like this thing. Let me change the absolute fundamental thing that makes the deck interesting.
Jesus, man, kind of gives you the same energy as I skipped my doctor's appointment because I felt sick today.
I kind of feel like that.
It's such nonsense.
Oh, brother edited it 1 day ago too.
He edited for that. So like, oh
yeah. Okay. My thoughts: the Bastion and the Soliron stuff. 6 out of 10, 8 out of 10 for potential.
It's redeemable.
Yeah, glass stuff. 3.
What even? Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep to the 2, dude. The only thing it got is that at least it's doing something with the bait like idea. Like he at least attempted that. Like I get that, man.
Yeah,
that's it. Okay. Like what?
Here's the thing. It's like okay, because the reason. Okay, to explain, Bastion. The reason why Bastion works is because that felt more like a logical evolution. It actually advanced the game plan while still kind of being unique. Because again, if you look at Libertas, while he does, it's a once per fight restand. The rearguards don't get drive checks anymore. So that means if you want a more stable Vanguard, Accord is probably still better in this case. But if you want a more offensive burst deck, this is probably your main Vanguard then. So at least this gives you an option. That gives you choice. Aside from the lack of the cost, that's still a problem. But you know, like I said, I'm looking at potential. I'm looking at like how it reads. That's the reason why Bastion works. And Soliron again is like it needs better costs and plus is way too much. But again, it feels like it's archetypal and it fits what's supposed to do. It respects what the deck does and it actually further advances the game state, while also in a clever way. Not a not balanced way, but a clever way meshes 2 different play styles together into one. The sacrifice class did none of that. It's literally just the king clause. We're just like, we did this thing plus 1 more skill. Except it just said,
yeah.
Hey, you know how it's basically what Akshaya did to Buffstarga. It's like, hey, you know how this is supposed to be like a kind of a 3-attack control deck? Hey, let's just make her do that, and plus what everyone else is doing. And now she's tier 0.
Yeah, at least Akshaya got to self-equip, which is a really like big glaring weakness of her that I felt should have been repaired. So at least they had that, but then they went over the board from that. So yeah, it's just bad, man. I'm sorry. These were pretty bad takes, but you know, I hope it made for entertaining content, at least for everyone to watch this. Right? We may see if we're gonna probably see some more like on this level.
I'm hoping.
All right, man. What?
Yeah, I'm also hoping our comments provide some insight as well. Like we're not trying to hate, but we're just being honest. All right.
Yeah, right. That's huge. That's huge to mention because it's pretty crazy seeing this. I don't, and it's kind of funny because this doesn't even interact with Sweet Bait at all. It just assumes you play Sweet Bait on top of all this. So it's like I kind of wish we had at least mentioned a little more Sweet Bait's abilities in it. But you know, that's at that point that's just besides it all, right? Okay. So last one of the night. Let's do one more because it's a singular card.
Yep.
John Vanguard.
You got this one, buddy. You got this one.
All right. If I could be so honored as to read the one and only John Vanguard. So he's a grade 3 with Twin Drive and Persona Ride. Oh, God. Of course he's a D-series card. He has no nation and no race. He looks kind of white to me, but that's just me. He's 13k power. His name is John Vanguard. God, how is this not a Keter Sanctuary unit? His flavor text reads, "Call me John Vanguard. My name is Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite shop, the Citadel." John Mass Effect.
You like Mass Effect.
Oh man, just the random joke at the end there, man. But yeah, Mass Effect. I'm feeling it, dude. I'm so feeling it. He's got his N7 armor right now. He's playing his Pierce Soldier build. He's got it. All right, so John Vanguard has 4 effects because he is the way of the future. He's the way of Vanguard. Act on the Vanguard circle Soul Blast. Search your deck, hand, or drop for up to 1 John Vanguard and call it your rear circle. It'd be a real shame if you damage check them. Until end of turn, it gets, when a card is put into the drop, if it was a trigger unit, all of your front row units get plus 2,000. If it was a normal unit, all of your back row units get minus 2,000. But why? And drive minus, why? Why are you, so you're soul blasting to +1, then break even because your drive economy goes, okay. Act on the Vanguard or rear guard circle. What the frick? Once per turn, counterblast 1 and discard a trigger unit. Okay, now we're doing the whole Bang Dream collab thing. Choose a. There's a huge space there. Choose a John Vanguard on your. Oh, I know what happened. I think no, I don't know what happened actually. Choose a John Vanguard in rear circle until end of turn. That unit performs drive checks, and this unit gets. So you mean your Vanguard doesn't perform the drive check, but the twin drive goes to your rear guard, but in order to achieve this, you need to counterblast and soul blast to discard a trigger. You just have to call it from the. That is the most convoluted break even I've ever seen in existence. But it's a break even that requires counterblast and soul blast, so it's automatically bad.
Well, not only that, if you add that to the effect of the one you did call, that's a drive 0. Because it's a drive -1 first, and you put a drive -1 on top of that. Exactly. That means it can perform a drive check, but it doesn't have a drive check to check.
Wait, no, hold on, yeah. No, I'm misunderstanding this a little bit. It gets drive -1 and the drive check, right? Like, because, so that means that this is only 1 drive, that's only 1 drive. So I misunderstood. They're sharing 1 drive. That's still only a twin drive, though. And there's another thing that's really a problem here. Because, yeah, you discard a trigger unit, which means that your front row gets 2k power. But when you soul blast, that's probably going to be a normal unit, which means your back row gets minus 2k power. So for every step forward, it's a step back for John Vanguard. That actually kind of feels like Vanguard. Maybe that's the whole point. Oh my god, that's actually the point. He's brilliant. He's effing genius. Auto on the van or rear circle at the start of your ride phase. Reveal a grade 3 in your ride deck. You don't have one, and change this card's name to that reveal card. You don't have one. It's him. He's the card. Auto on the Vanguard or rear guard circle at the end of all this unit drive checked. You get 1. Discard the top 2 cards of your deck, and this unit's on rear circle. Put it into soul.
Also, you could.
He made me read. They made me read 4 effects to do basically nothing. Oh my god, this is the Vanguard equivalent of what was it? Fireball Pass. This is the Vanguard equivalent of Fireball Pass.
I feel like I'm reading a Koro collab card right now. I'm just like, am I just too dumb to understand this?
John Vanguard is completely broken because it hardly functions at all.
Yeah. Because I just realized, if the third effect, at the start of your ride phase, you have to reveal a grade 3 in your ride deck.
Because there's none there! He's the card!
No. Not only that, you can't even use him as a generic rear card, because almost every single deck has been, like balanced to make sure you cannot call a unit that's a greater grade than your Vanguard.
Wait, so let's say I was playing this in like Oxaya or whatever, because I just want to hurt myself, right? And so on turn 3, when I would ride Oxaya, I instead ride John Vanguard from the hand and call it Oxaya.
Like, or even ride Oxaya from hand and then call John Vanguard and then reveal Oxaya in your.
Actually, now you mention it, wait, no, hold on a second. John Vanguard actually has 1 use. John Vanguard is a generic rear guard that lets himself Gabuelius, because as a rear guard, it CBs and discards to choose itself on rear circle, and it can perform a drive check. That's the only thing John Vanguard is good for. Wow.
Really good, actually, because Akshay already gets 3 drives, so that adding a 4th to her would actually be kind of crazy.
Holy crap! Actually, yeah. Now that you mention it, that
wait, he has 1 more effect though.
Wait, are you talking about the discard too? Because I read that.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Okay, now having said that, the discard 2. Wait, hold on a second. So you've used John Vanguard's skill in like. Wait. I know where John Vanguard can really meet his destiny. Zorga.
Oh. True.
Zorga. Yeah, you get 2 drive checks.
Zorga doesn't care about his. Yeah, Zorga also doesn't care about his freaking. What do you call it? He does not care about his back row either.
Yeah, he doesn't care about his back row. He does the mill and uses the mill stuff, and it's helpful, right? Because like you don't have to deal with like the weird mill conditions. That's only if John Vanguard is a Vanguard, which it's so surprising that we don't want him to be that. But I guess that's Vanguard, right? Yeah. It is, but never wants to be. This is like a question mark out of 10. What are we supposed to like derive from this? Is this better Gabuelius? Is this like a worst version of like a copycat deck? Is this like the most situational mill deck in the history of Vanguard? Is this a Mass Effect reference? What is this?
I don't know, but honestly, God, I'd have to rate it an 8 out of 10 because honestly, I kind of see the vision, and there actually is some pretty good use out of it if you play it properly.
It's so weird to think that, you know, I'm looking
Vanguard.
I'm looking at Emperor Crimson's cards, right? And I'm also looking at the Reziel, and I'm also looking at the Lantern. All these things, John Vanguard amuses me infinitely more than all of these things.
I know, it's just...
He solidifies himself as middle of the road here. Like, he's not better than Babs or the Impacts, but man.
Yeah. Like, unironically, like, he reads like a Koroko collab card, where it's just like, wait, there's actually a bit of genius hidden behind how you can use it. Because, like I said, if you ride Akshaya, you reveal from hand, and then you reveal the Akshaya in your ride deck, and then you let him, like, I don't really know anymore, but, like, just, like, I don't know, it's like, he actually does have a use on Rearguard Circle, like, as a support unit to any deck. I mean, shit, with Magnus, he can become a freaking... He can give you 4 drive checks. Or no, 5 drive checks.
Wait, you know what? Here's another thing that he's useful in. Belgrade the Sky Ruler. Because Belgrade can restand your board, right? And the discard 2 actually help for Belgrade the Sky Ruler, because you can get, like... You get close to the 15 condition. Wow. Wait, yeah, John Vanguard gets you 3 cards closer, so as long as you got, like, the trigger unit in hand. And then you drive check as well. Actually, yeah, John Vanguard's pretty good, isn't it? You know, the more we talk about, the more case scenarios we have. Shoot, man. As long... Whoa. Wait, you know what'd be the most weird thing to play this in? But I might just do it because of the new countercharger in Dragon Empire. I might play this in Varga Drag Race.
Ooh, actually, that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, I'd be like, you know what? If
Varga Dragon...
He does!
Yeah, he gets rid of himself.
He does. Wait, no, hold on a second though. But then Belgrade the Sky Ruler, right? Because like he can't restand it for the +1 another Konzorga, so I actually misunderstood that. But so actually, Varga is better for this one. The more you mention it, because you can get the soul and then. Ooh.
Yeah, he gives you soul. He also gives you a drive check on the first swing, and then he gets rid of himself, so you don't have to worry about retiring him with Varga's effect. So it's like, yeah, you just get 3 drives, and then you can get 5 drive sets if you use Divine Skill with Varga.
Wait, but I refuse. I'm going to use Shura's effect and make sure I recycle back my key unit, John Vanguard.
Oh no, I feel like seeing crits is gonna make your life a lot easier than Shura, I'll be honest.
But, no, that's why I'm saying use Shura's EB2 to preserve John Vanguard, because Shura can't preserve itself.
Exactly.
You have to save this linchpin of the strategy, right? See, wait, you know what this means? This is now part of CB3 combo. This is CB3 combo for like without Shura. So like, I mean, you know, now I mention it, like, CB3 combo is such a mean and Moon Man, but, like, Varga had CB4 combo, so, like, where was that mean?
Oh, yeah, he did.
When that was going around, man. Shoot, I feel like people just are, unfair to Moon Man sometimes. Anyway, John Vanguard is a John Vanguard out of 10.
Yeah.
What a card, man. This is one of the cards of all time. I will give credit to you. What's your name again? Hit Lion. This is one of the cards of all time.
I saw him post in the Discord earlier. I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was a meme card, but actually getting to read this now, I'm just like, oh, it's actually surprisingly competent.
Yeah, I mean, it's got like about 75% of it you won't do, but like, you know, if you go for the 25% that you will do, it's surprisingly good. That actually kind of reads very similarly to like every archetype card with like a significant generic impact. Like you ignore all the archetype stuff, you just do the one thing about that's generic.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's like, damn, man. All right, honestly, I'm happy we read this one last. This was a surprisingly positive one to end off on. Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to some of the folks before who lost out to John Vanguard, but like, you know, you know, it's all subjective at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
It's holy crap. So that's going to end the first episode of the Cardfight Review 2025 edition. If y'all enjoyed these cards, definitely let us know down in the comment section below. And if you want to post cards of your own, you haven't already, go to the Reddit post here. We're going to have a link in the description of this video as well. There is a link in a recent community post I made on my YouTube channel. Speaking of, if you want to support said YouTube channel, I greatly appreciate it. All you need to do is just like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell for all the handy dandy uploads that I'll be doing up in the future for cards like John Vanguard here. So if you want to check out those, then definitely do turn on the notification bell so you don't miss another one. And if you're looking for Vanguard content in the meantime, then check out other content that I do for Vanguard, whether it be top 10s, discussions, fight nights, anime reactions, the whole shebang. We do it all here. And if you're looking for some more content on the side, whether it be art streams, anime watches, or things of that nature, then check out Noir's Twitch stream, link in the description as well. He does Twitch streaming most particularly on the weekends, more or less. So definitely check him out there. But some art streams here and there as well, right, my friend?
Yep, and otherwise doing Gundam Breaker with Maz, because Gundam Breaker is my new obsession.
Yeah, as it should be. Great franchise there. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you to everyone who came on by. Take care and God bless.
Peace.